all fronts. World Cup night. We got World Cup. We're talking football tonight, people. In studio, we got my lady Kim. In studio, we got the great zebra, Jack Castle. Yeah. Jack Castle. Coach Rock Brown in studio, and we're gonna have, we're discussing some Bermuda love, some Bermuda future tonight. And are we going to build a championship culture? I mean, we got to go and move toward a championship culture. And so, in building a championship culture, we got to do the right thing in Bermuda. How do we begin to reassess, reevaluate, yes, our football? So we're going to have some of that conversation tonight. I guess I want to kick it off, you guys. Reflectively. We're not going to go down memory lane tonight. We don't want to upset people. Well, I think sitting among us is about 50 plus trophies. So easily, more than 50 actually. So, but when we think in terms of where we are as a country internationally, when we think in terms of where we are as a country locally, and while I do not go to many local games, it's still, the appetite for football is still there publicly. Quality is what we are missing. And so I'm going to ask the both of you this question to jump things and kick things off. When I look at our league, 10-team league, Premier League, yeah, we have the next league, what is it, the First Division League? First Division League, that I believe they're down to 9 or 8 teams. I think 2 teams withdrew. There's the threat of another one. I just hope that Hamilton Parish do not. That's a championship club and team last year, and to see them facing that this year is disturbing. So I'm going to put this out there. To help to change the culture, certainly we know we have to improve the quality of club organization to elevate national team football. That's a gimme and given. Is it time to merge the First Division with the Premier League and probably do an 18-team league, as opposed to the 10, and go through what we go through every year, the large exodus of players? Parish won championship last year and lost 22 players. All right. And so we need to do something. Do we begin to change the culture of our approach to football with this type of action? Okay. Rock, I'm going to start with you.
Okay, you put me right on this spot. So at the end of the day, to me it starts with clubs. So going on the days where you have players who have the commitment to one club like we did back in the day. Mm-hmm. Players are going from club to club nowadays for the earned satisfaction, mm-hmm. whether it's the environment that they're in, whether they may get some money under the table. For whatever reason, mm-hmm. players are not as disciplined to stay at one club like they used to.
Right.
Years ago. So I can't say I favor an 18 club league. I have to look at that. Also, one thing that has to come into play is how do we keep our players at our clubs? because one thing I would say is, if I was looking at a club, or if somebody came to my club, why would they want to play for me? So the whole infrastructure has to be correct. So that's a big discussion that I think we need to have, because it's a worrying thing for me to see that if Hamilton Paris default one more game, they're going to be out of the league for the year. Like you said, they lost over 20 players last year, and that's difficult for any organization. And they don't really have players coming through in a youth program. Their youth program, I believe, they're at under sevens at the moment. So, it's a difficult situation for them.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, they could, come out of it and not be kicked out of the league. But, it doesn't look too good at the moment. So that's a big discussion that needs to be had in relation to how do we galvanize our leagues here in Bermuda moving forward. One of the things I'll talk about as we go along, we have to now start looking at putting responsibility and accountability on the players. And the only way we're going to do that is start talking about semi-pro leagues. You know what I mean? So I think that needs to come into play too, and that's the only way that I think that we could go to another level and put responsibility and accountability on the players.
All right.
Well, it's definitely
Jack?
Yeah, it's definitely as Dennis said. I wouldn't go toward making the senior league a bigger league. Definitely got to look at the clubs. Clubs have got to be more accountable, and look at how they're going to get the players to stay.
Mm-hmm.
This has been something that's been manifesting for a while, and it's just getting worse and worse and worse. So we've got to put a little bit more accountability on the clubs, and those clubs that are accepting players, like the top clubs. I know it's a little bit more difficult getting into the top clubs, but for one team to lose 20-something players, where did all those players go? Did they split up? Or how many of those players went to one team? And did that team really need
those players?
Those
I
players.
would think 22 players. And usually when you get an exodus like that, one or two end up not playing at all.
Yeah.
An exodus like that ends up a split between probably 3 teams minimum. And which teams? When I look at Hamilton Parish, certainly guys would probably go east, St. George's, and of course more central.
What are the registrations? Like each team should have a roster of what? Back in the day,
25.
That's going to come into effect, I believe, next year. That
What?
came up at the semi-annual meeting about capping the rosters of each club.
right? So that's my thing. Like each team should have a roster of X number of
players.
players.
Yeah.
And I know you don't want to go back, but when we were like back in the
No,
day,
not from wrong going back.
but I
Yeah.
just wanted like.
But we had a roster.
We had a roster.
yeah.
We to win the league, like you would have had to have 25 players, right? Teams didn't have 30 and like 35 players registered. You had between 22 and 25 players on your register.
But plus you also had the reserve league in our era,
Yeah.
right? And these were, players still who were eligible to move, between we say A and B, but reserve and
But the other
first team.
And see, the other thing that makes a big difference within the country is we don't have like a youth league like we used to, like a under, what is it? Under
Yeah.
8. We used
Yeah,
to
they
have
have
under
under 18.
We do have on.
Yeah,
but
we have on from right up until under 18s.
But
That's it.
how many teams in under 18?
Not many.
Yeah.
Right.
Not many.
So we have a diminished
Yeah.
under 18 league. What I'm thinking probably because it's under 15s, right?
Yes.
I'm thinking under 15s is probably the biggest group of
15s, 13s, 11s.
those are big groups, right? But are and you can tell me, Dennis, are those players from 15 to 16 to under 18? Like, how we go from having all these players at under 15, and then when it comes to under 18, we only got 3 teams, 4 teams.
I believe it's 4 or 5.
Yeah.
So what's happening now is a lot of boys between that age of 15 to 15, 16, 17 are now going abroad.
Okay.
To whether it's in the UK or whether it's in the US. So, and we've lost, a lot of teams have lost players to their players going overseas.
for
school.
education
Yeah,
purposes.
education.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Which has always been a track of our young players between that demographic of 17
Yeah.
to at least 19. Yeah.
But didn't at one stage we raised the age for like under 21 from
Yeah,
18?
we
or
actually
something?
used to have a reserve league. Well, I can't remember what you used to call it. Used to go up to under 23, and you were able to use 3 overage players
Right.
in that division. But that even clubs were even using that for the benefits. They were using it for the purpose that it was there for, to basically groom the young guys to come into your first team and stuff like that. So that even went by the wayside. So we have to put our thinking caps together to see how we're going to improve football in
Right.
Bermuda, especially youth football.
And probably that's where we're at.
Well,
Definitely.
what we're going to do, let me say to the listening audience, for the next hour, we're going to put our thinking caps together. We'll pull in the listening audience between 9 and 9:30, or between 9:15 and 10 o'clock. We're going to throw some things out there developmentally. Some things you guys just said I want to build upon, especially when we talk about semi-professional, but also the responsibility, the role, and development of the clubs. Because if we don't improve the organizational development of the clubs, I look at these things as detrimental to the vision of any aspiration of making a World Cup. And today, I don't look at that as far-fetched. And we're going to get into some conversation. We have our predictions about Bermuda, Curacao. Bermuda can beat Curacao, but it's which Bermuda shows up. That's the conversation. I'm going to do an education infomercial. I have Assistant Director Sherry Bucci. She will be joining us. I have her on a Zoom, and we have an infomercial moment, because going on right now, this is for all of you who have those babies. I say babies. I don't know, Dennis, you guys don't have any 3-year-olds and 4-year-olds anymore, right?
No, sir.
So we're going to be speaking to that for the moment. Let me just bring Ms. Bucci in. Hello, Ms. Bucci.
Good evening, Dr. and crew. Can you hear me all right?
We hear you clearly.
Good evening.
Wonderful.
You were going to share with us. There are some eventful things about to happen in terms of registration, preschool to primary school, and this comes under your remit. So we're using this this infomercial moment for you to share with the Bermudian public what they can expect in terms of registration that's coming up in what? So what in the next week, I believe. So go ahead.
Yeah, we have registration for preschool, including Bright Start, That's for the 3-year-olds, and we usually typically refer to the 4-year-olds preschool, and then of course P1 for that would be for children beginning mandatory schooling, starting primary school. So that registration is from November the 17th. That is Monday going through to the last Friday of the month, which would be the 28th. So we want to make sure that parents and the community are informed. We've had banners up, posters, but I thank you for this opportunity because we have fathers, mothers, aunts, uncles, grandparents, and it's a community, right? And our community wants to ensure that our children are not missing out. And since we now have registration in November, but it used to be in February of the year that the children would begin school year, we're talking about children registering for September 2026.
Okay.
But here we are, November 2025. So we have found that persons will come on board around May, and when is registration? And we say, well, registration was actually back in November. So that is one of the messages we want to get out because we have some children that are actually 2 years old right now, but they will be eligible for Bright Start next year, to start next year, but you have to register them this year. And again, those that are 4 years old this year, next year they'll be turning 5. So we need to, even though they might have just started preschool a few weeks ago, you now have to turn your attention to registering them for primary school. So we have open houses. They have begun. In the Eastern Zone was today, Central is tomorrow, and on Friday, the Western Zone. So we have had this information up and about. However, if you've missed it, I would encourage you to call the school and ask some questions. Maybe you might be able to make a visit. They may send you to their website or even to their Facebook, right? So that you could see what is going on at the school.
So let me just ask you this here, Ms. Bucci. When we're talking the open house in all 3 zones, this is all day, correct?
No, from 9 to 12.
From 9 to 12. Okay, good. Okay. And just a few other things before we, sign off with you. Because there was a question, when and how to register children for preschool, including the Bright Start. And just elaborate some more on the Bright Start program, because the Bright Start program is more of your 3-year-olds, correct?
Yes. So there has been a question about Bright Start because it started off just in Ward at Ward Preschool, and then it moved, and we had it here and there, and it's still here and there, and we don't have Bright Start in all preschools. However, there is a call for Bright Start across the island, and so what we want to open up to the public is and let them know that as we register children for preschool, the 4-year-olds, we now, because of a decline in the birth rate, we now have more spaces for 3-year-olds. So we've tried it out with Bright Start classes where we would have a whole class that's just dedicated to that age group. But at the same time, we have had instances for the last few years where we've had mixed age, so that we had, let's say, a class that might have had 10 preschoolers in it. We had some spaces left, 3 spaces left, let's say, and instead of leaving those spaces vacant, we opened them up to 3-year-olds. And we've now had mixed age. And so mixed age is nothing new. This has been going on for years. And of course, we know that some children, excel in certain areas, and some children lag in other areas. And so really, developmentally, the continuum is such that we can meet the 3 and the 4-year-olds. Of course, you would have a child born, let's say December 31st, right? And that's a late born for that year. But then you have a person that's born January 1st. So you know, it cycles around. It's not like a cutoff period.
Okay.
Children are having birthdays all the time.
Well, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to take the information and that you have left me with by email, and by the end of the show, or at the end of the show, I'm going to share it again with the listening audience, right? But I do appreciate you using some of your time after hours. There's no overtime for you tonight, Ms. Bucci, doing this here. I'm sorry.
Okay, boss.
You get no overtime, right? This is a community service. All right.
So let me please just have parents go, or family members, they may go on to MOED, the website, and you move from ministry, go to the Department of Education tab, and that's how you can register online. You'll see registration. Right now, if you go there, it's blocked because we are closing out 2024, 2025.
25, yeah.
Right, and so that is one way you can register. You can also, if you need to have any questions answered, you could call the Department of Education and speak to the registration coordinator, or you can also ask the operator to speak with.
And the registration coordinator, this Jacqueline Eve.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, she's the coordinator.
Okay.
And remember, you will need to have a birth certificate to upload and a proof of residence. Some of the birth certificates we may have from registration the previous year, like if they were a Bright Starter, we may still have the birth certificate in our system. So that's it for now, and we look forward to the up and coming lovely little ones that will be our. Well,
all I'll say, I thank you. You shared, that's Bermuda's future. So Bermuda Love, Bermuda's future begins with our little ones, and we're going to tie it into our conversation here tonight. And I thank you for coming on and sharing that infomercial education moment. Thanks a lot.
Okay, thank you for your time. Good
All right,
night.
be well. All right, guys. You know, based upon what you were sharing in terms of when we, certainly clubs, our greatest challenge, I think, to the future of the type of development that we want in football in Bermuda doesn't happen unless we organizationally improve the people. It's the management, but also the vision toward football coming out of our clubs. And I believe, you know, when I listen to and look at the concern we have with the Hamilton Parish, and they're not the only ones, these are the type of obstacles to our path to improving collectively. So if we're not going to expand or extend the Premier League, and if Jack, you brought up the example in terms of junior football. What was junior football to us? Under 18, that's a league that has diminished. At the same time, when we project and look at what the future is, let's say World Cup 2030 or World Cup 2034, well, those 15-year-olds are the ones that we should be targeting. And so developmentally, what is it that we need to do right now to strengthen or to develop a championship culture around the development of football in Bermuda?
What did we... Okay, so I'm middle school, so So I'm
We can't get away from old school. Look, you know,
So-
that's our frame of reference.
okay. So I'm always going to go back to reference, right? Football. Dennis, myself, you. I learned football in school, right? I learned football in school from my gym teacher. My gym teacher played football, played cricket. He taught football in school. So the hunger, right? So I got an education in school, but I was taught sport in school. Sports in school throughout the island, from Somerset to St. George's. You know, we learned how to travel from, let's say, Sands to town to St. George's.
Island-wide.
To
It was
play,
i- it was
to play,
island-wide.
to play football.
Yeah.
So
Or any of the sports. Yeah.
and softball, netball, right? And that gave us the drive to play for the clubs. Like you went from school football to club football, from gym teachers that knew the game and taught the game, to watching them play on Sundays, to us playing youth football, right? So when you went from school to club, right? You had that drive, right? Then you always look forward to track and field, right?
Yeah.
The football finals, right? East versus West, and then you took that momentum, that education, and then you came to your club team, and you had a different coach that was educating you more on club football.
You're raising something, and I mean, I know, Rock, you can relate to this
Of course, he can
because
relate to you.
well, all of us can, and just for the listening on, because the key part of the argument that you're raising here, Jack, is really at the school level. At the school level, while we still have football, those sports being played,
It's not like
the structure of it is not a structure that builds on the development like what you just spoke to, right? On top of it, shoots. As you were running it off, I was in my head trying to name all of the teachers or PE teachers who taught you in school, but also they played the game also. So you were getting it both ways, from a Denver Seymour,
yes,
a Lionel Turner, a Randy Benjamin, Randy Horton too. Shoot,
yeah, Randy Horton.
you can go down the line. Norbert Simons. So you always had those mainly men who extended a rite of passage for most of it, and I are, of course, many young, it was more males who played, not like you have now, comparatively to now, and credit to her. Most of your PE teachers are not active persons in
clubs communities, yeah.
or communities,
Yeah.
right? Sister Deal is it Deal? Yeah, who at Montagnagnes?
Yeah, she's still
Right.
Right? National coach, club up, everything. I mean,
but as that has, like, we have strayed away from a lot of the fundamental elements that drove so many of us on to be successful.
right.
No,
And
no.
beyond football.
Not only, and that's what
Yeah.
that's my next point. Not only in football, cricket, and even in our personal lives,
yeah.
right? So that has changed in the country, and what have we haven't replaced it with anything. Like we went from education, like from the school, that we went from school to, like, so let's say school football was 7 or 8 back then.
Yeah. Primary school all the way through.
They took away some of the fundamentals, so now
Yeah.
it's like a 4.
Yeah.
Right? What have we replaced it with? So, and then we took that and we expect the clubs to pick up the
slack, yeah.
the clubs to pick up the slack. The clubs can't pick up the slack.
But the clubs also developmentally do, I mean, credit, and you guys will know, I mean, Rock, you certainly will know, in terms of most of our coaches at the club level are certifiable coaches, right?
Certified,
they have to be certified. C level and up, correct?
D.
D level and up.
Yeah. D and up.
The D level replaced the C level.
No, it's D, C, B.
Okay.
Yeah.
And D level is the
D is
very is the youth level,
Yeah,
correct?
it's the beginning.
Okay.
Right up to 9 years
Okay,
old.
to 9 years old.
Yeah.
And so when we think in terms of that qualification, that certification, that coaches, I mean, that expectation is there. At the same time, which gets at what you were sharing, Jack, because that gets into the culture. Like you said, where we didn't continue, we dropped the ball. So when you look at Rock, you sit at a certain table of all coaches on the island, correct?
I'm actually the president of the Coaches Association. I also sit on the Player Development Committee at the BFA. So I'm in a lot of these meetings. And like Jack said, primary school, I had 2 of the best PE teachers in primary school and high school. I had Lionel Turner at West End Primary School, who taught us the basic fundamentals of football, the basic fundamentals of cricket, the basic fundamentals of track and field. How was an 11-year-old able to jump 18 feet in long jump without having the basic fundamentals, him telling me what I need to do to get longer?
Mm-hmm.
How was an 11-year or a 9-year-old able to get into Summerton's under 14 team without having those basic fundamentals from Mr. Turner? Going to work sack, Danny Seymour, excellent PE teacher. Basic fundamentals. Taught us zoning back in the 70s.
Mm-hmm.
You know, about zone defense and stuff like that. Unbelievable. Danny was way before his time when it came to coaching and giving information to young players, but we've lost that. You go, like you say, you go around to schools and teachers don't have a idea about the basic fundamentals of coaching football.
We actually have teachers who not just don't have it, will not.
But what has to happen is that they have to have some sort of an association with clubs in the area. So the clubs have to be more involved in the schools. The association has to be more involved in the schools. Years ago, Alan Jones used to come around. He was the national coach.
Yeah.
He used to come around to the schools. I'll never forget that. That motivated me when he put on those Pele films back in the day. So that motivated me to go out there and try what I saw him putting on the films. So the association has to be more involved in what's delivered in relation to football in the schools.
And those are the things that help to develop and build the culture. And so bringing it with that foundation that we're talking about and looking at the foundation that we have right now, we answered some of the question in terms of not having enough of it at the school level. We also shared at the club level what's missing, right? And so when I think of these things with the projection or the aspiration of a pro league, a semi-pro league, how can we justifiably make an argument for a semi-pro league, because a semi-pro league, when I think of a semi-pro league, I mean, a semi-pro league means that you have another job, or you're a semi-pro part-time professional, right? Comparatively, most of our players today work as they also play what is recreational amateur football for their clubs. How do we move that into a semi-pro level, and who will be the partners to develop that?
Well, I think even before we go to those lengths, us as a country, because I did a little bit of research before I came here, because I know you, so you're going to be asking a lot of questions. So I did a little bit of research in relation to learning from small nation success. One of the nations I looked at was Iceland. How did Iceland get to the World Cup? How did Jamaica get to the World Cup? So one of the first things that they talked about was building a national football identity.
There you go.
Building a national football identity, which Bermuda should define a distinct style of play that matches its player profile, right? Technical, quick, intelligent, rather than physical, right? And that's important.
Yeah.
But everybody, all the coaches who come to Bermuda or play against Bermuda talk about how fast Bermuda players are. And that's a fact. Back in the day, from Courage Bum LaBelle to the Kevin Deals to
Sammy
Swans,
Kenny
to
Burts.
Rip
Kenny
Cans,
Burts, yeah,
Rip Cans, Kenny Burts, Walter
Kevin,
Mussins.
yeah.
You know what I mean? We've always had quick players. So now how can we put that all together, right? So Iceland, right? They have an identity. Jamaica have an identity, right? So, and it talks about creating a national playing philosophy that aligns with youth, academies, and senior team development, right? And it also talks about encouraging all clubs and academies in Bermuda to teach the same core principles from 9 years old upwards.
Yeah.
So why can't that be done? That was done in Belgium, right? The golden era of Hazard and these guys, when they were like 10, 11, 12 years old, they had Belgium had a 10-year plan for all clubs to basically have the same core principles. So why can't we do that in Bermuda, right? So the last thing about the motto of Iceland was unified national system where all coaches taught the same tactical structure. Why can't that happen in Bermuda?
What is...
Why can't that happen in Bermuda?
This is a discipline issue to me.
And it's also an ego thing in Bermuda.
Yeah.
Right? We have too many coaches who have too much of an ego, thinking of themselves rather than thinking of the development of the players that they have with them.
Which is a major challenge for us. That is probably the major challenge. I mean, you were citing even Iceland, Cape Verde.
Yeah.
Cape Verde, they're the smallest representative, I believe, in the World Cup.
Another one I didn't talk about was Morocco. Morocco have got to the World Cup finals, semi-finals of the World Cup. They just won the under 20? Under 20 World Cup. Right, so
they've invested in it. Yeah,
huge investments.
Well, you're bringing up this here, which brings us forward to the current moment. And let's go there in terms of 14-2. We have 14 goals scored against us, 2 goals scored in the World Cup qualifiers that we have thus far.
Yep.
It's not rocket science. We can't score, nor are we defending.
You don't let them score.
Yeah.
They
so it's clear we're not defending, nor are we scoring. I'm going to go out on a limb. This gets at the culture. When I look at our national team play, it's all so predictable to me. And I you know, as former players that we are, I'm sure you guys do it. I watch football from my position. I watch football from my position. I'm you know, I'm watching the game. I'm watching the movement. I'm looking at, okay, here's what I would do. If I get the ball, if I'm there, I'm doing this, you know, to start an attack or to control defense, those type of things. When I watch our team, right, getting it what you just described, Dennis, in terms of the quick players, but we also had quick players, ball handlers, you know, dribblers, a Punchy Deal, Drew, Kenny Thompson, Kelly Simmons, ball handlers,
Walter Moss, these guys,
these ball handlers who always put your defense on guard. You know what I mean? And so when I look at Bermuda, and you'll see it tomorrow night. You will see it tomorrow night. We don't have any. Probably the closest person that comes to it is Zico Lewis to me, who will dribble at people
in flashes.
In flashes, yeah.
Not consistently.
Not consistently. You know, he has bursts, but I'm talking about that dribbler who stands on the ball and invites and breaks down a defense and opens them up, pulls defenders or midfielders to you to just play it off.
But what I haven't seen in any of the games, I haven't seen those players that want to take the game on, like just take the game on, like control, like versus players that control the match. Like I haven't seen that.
Out of fairness,
and with you talking about that, I saw Trey Ming the other day, and I told Trey Ming that we haven't replaced you yet, because to me, that guy who controlled Bermuda's team and Kyle and Ray with the coach, to me, was Trey Ming. Trey Ming, defensively, is a beast. Offensively, he's very demanding in what he wants from his players, and we haven't replaced Trey Ming yet in the center of the ball.
Him, and I would also blessings be upon him, whose life was taken. Boscombe.
Saji.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He too had those qualities.
Yeah,
when I saw Bermuda, what was it, in the Gold Cup?
Yeah, Saji was that number 10 that you.
That was that, and I'm saying, man, we don't have that. We don't have that type of player.
I believe we do. We have the young man, Nijai Tucker, right? But he has to get himself more involved in the game. Like Jack said,
he shows flashes. The Luke Tucker guy shows.
He shows flashes.
He shows flashes, but it's not.
He's
not.
But let me ask you guys this here: is it the players or is it the system?
Can be the system.
And I hate to go to systems because
can be.
I look at the players, to me, are so robotic, man.
Yeah.
I'm like, when do you think for yourself? When John Barnes was here, and he was speaking to the coaches at Devonshire Rec, and I put the question to him.
Yeah, I missed that.
I just find that players today, and with all the brilliance of Pep, yes, but it's so stereotypical to me. At what point does a player decide, I got to step out of this system to make such and such a thing happen? And I threw to John Barnes the question of John Terry. John Terry made an argument, and of course, Barnes just dismissed it and squashed it, as treated almost like a personal thing between John Terry and Liverpool, Chelsea, Liverpool. He answered to me. But I think John Barnes made a fair analysis. John Terry made a fair analysis. He said, while we have a system of playing, and we want to play out from the back. That was the issue. Not every time you have to play out at the back, especially with teams high pressing.
Some of these teams you see every
can't.
week is unbelievable.
So, at what point do you think for yourself
Yeah.
to beat that?
Yeah.
And he was saying he used to tell Petacek when he and the others will spread wide and tell Petacek, don't play it to me. Nothing short. Hit that one-on-one up front. Drogba's by with one-on-one. Now, when I listen to that, you know who I think of? Who you think I think of locally?
PHC.
I think of PHC. Nibs Lewis.
PHC.
And that's what literally, I said, man, that's PHC.
How many times did you see Mike and Nils build the ball out of the back?
Look,
How many?
that's what I'm talking about.
You play to your strengths.
You play to your strength.
And Nibs always said that with us. He always, because Mike wasn't the greatest.
Mike ain't no ball handler.
Mike wasn't the greatest ball handler.
That's speed
Right.
and height.
So in training, we would be taught where to play balls. Like if you're clearing balls, play balls in these spaces, right? And playing to your strengths was playing to Kenny Burke,
Yeah.
Kevin Deal,
Yeah.
Yep.
Sammy
Sammy.
Swan,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Even when Mop was there, playing to Mop's strength,
Yep.
you know, Pinks playing to those guys' strength. So that was our
all of
strength,
that. All of
right?
that.
System of play. What determines system of play? I've been saying this for a number of years. What determines system of play?
Well, what determines system of play to me? What I observe is what the coach tells you have to play. That's
Okay,
what
but
that's what determines system of play to me is what's happening on the field, man.
But Nips used to tell us the ball
The ball, yeah.
determines where the ball is.
Yeah.
That determines the system of play. So if I'm an overlapping right back and I get over, he used to tell me all the time, once you get over the halfway line, you're not the right back no more. You have to think like the winger. You know, so the system, like the ball determines system of play. And like you said, I think our team is too caught up in like I've got to be playing this system, I'm got to be here and so on, because it's it's 10v10 on the field.
Yeah. I
11
just
v 11, but 10v10.
I just feel for Bermuda to be successful tomorrow night. I mean, go out on a limb. You're not going to the World Cup, but certainly Bermuda's capable of beating Curacao.
But you can determine something by winning a game.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so I'm saying let's go out on a limb and be very expressive, you know, with who we are and what we're doing. Who are those players that are going to go out on a limb? I mean, you mentioned what's the young man's name again? Rock. Midfield, the ball handler. No, not Trey.
Nijai talk.
Nijai.
You know, an opportunity to just express yourself. I just don't see, and out of fairness to Naki Wells, out of fairness, look, that's a different level to me for Bermuda, comparatively. I look at his running off the ball, different level, without the service,
Right.
without the quality service. Let me put it that way.
To me, I will play Naki off for number 9 because Naki is so intelligent when he has the ball. So I don't think at this stage of his career at the international level, we should have him right up top to be marked by 2 or even 3 players.
6'3" players.
Exactly.
For what? And you're hitting them up.
Why not free him up as a number 10 to get more involved in the passes and the whatever in the middle of the park to give the service to the guys up top. I mean, Bermuda's got some exciting young wingers coming through. Jace Donovan, his whoa. Javi DeRosa is not in the squad yet. Shaquille Boley Ming's son. Here's another one.
Yeah.
His playing
Just had a successful
in Syracuse right now.
Yeah.
So we got some exciting wingers coming through. Now we need those the creative midfield players, the Andrews, the Kenneth, the Robert Cauldrons, and these guys. You know what I mean? We have to bring the best out of our players by putting them in situations where you're going to see the best of our players.
And I think those are the players that gets at what you're talking about, Rock, in terms of shaping our identity.
Yep.
And I just feel the closest that we were to it was probably the Gold Cup team on the Kyle.
Yes, on the
that was
Kyle.
the closest.
Yeah.
I enjoyed watching Bermuda play in that tournament. I saw another level for us. And then, of course,
that was a team in their prime.
Yeah.
All those guys
Yeah.
were actually in their prime.
That
You know what I mean? And it was, like you said, it was pretty to watch.
Those guys between most
You know
of them
what I
between
mean?
24 and 28.
Yeah, they were in their
Yeah.
prime at that time, and perfect timing.
And so to get at that, that's getting at the culture or the identity that you spoke to, the identity of how we want to play. And to do that, I think we have to from a coaching level. I mean, we have national coach here now.
But that's where it starts, Luke, because I move around weekends just to see the demeanor of the coaches and instructions that they're given from the side. And it's too much coaching from the side.
Yeah.
Telling your players when I even look at the youth games and pass her. Players can't think for themselves.
Well, let me stop you right there, though. Let me stop you right there. And I agree.
Yeah.
I know at the youth level you should shut up and be quiet.
It's all level.
Yeah. Well, I don't see it in the pro level.
No, I mean
No.
in the senior level in Bermuda, you see it.
Too much coaching.
It's too much coaching.
But I'm bringing this up. When I look at on the side, Pep sits down now and then.
Yeah.
But I'm watching all the, and all of them are on the side. On the side giving instructions. Is that a different instruction?
Yeah, that's a different instructions. They're not telling you how to play and when to play and where to play.
Okay.
That's a difference.
Okay. They're telling you where I want you to be. Or
no, they're just saying you may have been in the wrong position or whatever. I need
All
you
right.
to pick your game up and stuff like that. But you hear in Bermuda, at a youth level before, I watched the game over the weekend, and before a guy even controlled the ball, coach is saying pass her. He may have another thought in his mind, and out of mind, players making mistakes, youth players making mistakes when they make their own decisions.
So, as one who is over the coaches, because that's answering part of our question.
Yeah.
How do we get our coaches to be disciplined, to be quiet during the course of play? I mean, I know you can't control the loud parent who's on the side. That's
Takes
another.
time. It takes time.
That's another problem, by the way.
Yeah, serious problem.
I mean, that's a serious problem in Bermuda
Serious
football.
problem.
I was listening to someone sharing a video. I was saying, "Oh man, please shut up, lady."
Serious problem.
I'm like, man, but we got to. Those are the things that interrupt and get in the way of what you are saying we need to do to shape that identity, to manifest even a championship type of culture. I was looking at championship books, and it's talking about championship teams, right? Doesn't matter. Look at all the championship, any sport, championship teams. And they were talking about there are 8 kinds of culture that you find in sports teams, right? And it says, one, there's the corrosive culture. This is a culture where there's lots of conflict, lots of negativity, lots of frustration, right? Of the players, the organization, all on you see it on the field of play, no matter what the sport. Then there's the country club culture. I think Bermuda has a lot of this. And especially as we go up with our players, there's an entitlement. There's the appearance that You know, I say to folk in Bermuda, we have strong self-esteem, low self-confidence. In other words, we think we're greater than what we really are.
Yeah.
Right? Strong self-esteem. Right? Then there's the congenial culture. You know, I do enough just to get along. And you know,
Just enough.
just enough. Then there's that comfortable culture, staying within the comfort zone. You know, I'm just going to be compliant, do as I'm told. At what point do you step outside your comfort zone? And when you mention some of the young players, he does it sometimes, but where's the comfort zone to
Be able to have confidence to
and do it all the
like,
time?
Want the ball.
Want it,
like
demand it,
give
demand
me-
it. Yeah. Then there's a competitive culture. That's just results driven. You know, the bottom line is the result. If I'm winning, everything is fine. The competitive culture. And then there's that cutthroat culture. I win at all costs. Right? We have some of that.
We have a lot of
we
that.
have a lot of that.
Yeah.
Win at all costs.
It don't matter.
Don't matter. And then there's that constructive culture. These are the two, I think, where we progressively need to move toward. The constructive culture and championship culture. And the focus, yes, is on the results. But the key thing is building the relationships. And much of what you're talking about, Rock, is, you know, how do we get all of our coaches on the same page in building the relationship to construct an identity for Bermuda's national football? How do we do that? Yes, the Zebras have a way of playing. Yes, Village have a way of playing. Dendy Town have a way of playing. But we also want, and some say you have a way of coach. All the teams, you have a way of playing. But at a national level, we want a certain type of attitude and player.
So what has to be taught, and this is also what Iceland, Costa Rica,
That's
Yeah.
another good team, Costa Rica.
to get to the next level. They focused on possession-based. When they're in possession, how we look when we're in possession, what we need to do when we're in possession. They talked about a disciplined low block defense because Bermuda cannot fight toe-to-toe with these teams. We see that in this group. We can't fight toe-to-toe with
Yeah.
these teams. And I saw when we went to a low block when we played Honduras. We went up 2-0 against Honduras because we brought them into a full sense of security, and we caught Honduras on the counterattack twice
Using our speed.
using our speed.
Yeah.
So what was surprising to me is that we changed the system in the second half by going high press. And when we went high press, they just went right through us. So we have to have that identity whereby we're going to have to be disciplined defensively. And sometimes it's going to hurt. It's going to hurt to be defending. It's going to hurt to be, you know what I mean? But we have to be disciplined. And then we look for a fast transition and catch these teams on the break.
But isn't that our strength? Our strength is our fast transition, like
Exactly.
transitioning. And I totally agree with Dennis. Like, we don't drop off the ball and defend and create those teams, because those teams want to knock the ball through. Once we get a little bit of width in us, then they find more space
It's trouble, yeah.
and they break us down. But
trouble.
as long as we sit back, right? As long as we sit back and then we win the ball and we go at them. So we got to know our strengths. Like against Curacao 53-2, we done some things right. How can we improve one? Like these guys, well, it's half the team's gone, but we done some things right to get a 3-2, right? So how can we build on that? And why we haven't continuously built on that?
And the game that like I said, Bermuda's capable of beating. I looked at, not that I have a low. I looked at Jamaica. I looked at, okay, yes, they outplayed Bermuda.
Not in the first Jamaica.
But I'm saying, but from a football perspective, I looked at it and said, Bermuda, there's a formula that you have that can beat this team, and it's absent of some of the things that we're talking about. I don't want to get too much even into formations, because I think formations is some of that is an exaggeration of football to me. I mean, I like the science of formations in football, 3-4, 3-2.
That means absolutely nothing.
But it means nothing. It means,
right.
and that's what I'm saying, because formations to me are interchangeable on the course of play. It's like you said in terms of Neil, where's the ball?
Yeah.
So if you're playing with 3 at the back, at some point, those 2 that may be in front of you might have to drop into a 4.
Yeah.
You know, or a 5.
Yeah.
Right.
It's about adapting.
But it's about adapting, but it's also about reading the game.
Yeah.
Reading the game. And those are some of the things that I'm getting at here in terms of when I look at our national team, so much of it feels so scripted that they are fixated in staying to what they are told to play, as opposed to the adaptation to the course of the game, you know? Or, I know different era. I mean, Jamaica had a guy, man, I'm saying, look, just that guy you need to just tap him once to just a little slow roll. Somebody get a card, but just to slow his roll, make a statement. Well, none of that. Those are the things that disturb me about us. And so we are to develop our identity. Those are the things collectively in terms of clubs, association, old heads, new heads, whatever. Those of us who love the game have the conversation as a oneness to say, hey, look, these are the type of players that we want in Bermuda's team. And we need ball handlers in our team. We don't have any. We need some people who can dribble.
Another topic, right? We're the same national team, but now we have to expand our player pool.
I see you, callers, and we're gonna entertain you momentarily.
Expand our player pool by one of the things I talk about is hosting an annual Bermuda Heritage Camp in the UK or in somewhere in North America, whereby we can attract players with Bermuda heritage, right? Because that was done in Jamaica. Jamaica did that. They leveraged the UK-born players to strengthen their weaknesses.
Yeah.
Their weakness at that time was center backs.
I think that's necessary for Bermuda.
Have a heritage camp.
Who are
in
they?
the UK? We have so many players in the UK.
Who are they?
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, we just have to put our heads together. And we have coaches out in the UK who are Bermudian who could run those camps and stuff like that and get back to the association. This guy here, his granny or his great granny has Bermuda.
That's whatever. The way, and that's the way of the world right now in world football.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. So,
I mean, shoots. You're African, ain't you're African anymore.
So
you're African is French, is Belgian, is Russian. So these are things that nations are doing to strengthen their pool.
Exactly.
And we have to, punch above our weight and all of that. Yeah, that's part of it. But at least be bold, courageous enough to take that leap of faith, that step, to do that. And to do that warrants, again, how do we get over that threshold of selfishness?
Look at France. How many France guys are born in France?
Well,
a lot of countries are like that.
Yeah. A lot of countries are like that.
Most of international football is like that right now.
Exactly.
Most of it. When you look at this World Cup that's coming up, probably the only players where that's not the case. When you look at Argentina players are usually from Argentina.
They're Argentina.
They're Argentina.
They have no
they're pure Argentinians.
They're pure Argentinians.
Yeah.
But when it comes to Canada, the U.S. and all these teams in our region,
those are players from the Caribbean and African continent.
Exactly.
All right, that's where we are. Let's open this up and see what the listening audience has to say about, Bermuda developing a championship culture. What is needed? We know what we used to do. Remember we used to do as early as the last Gold Cup that we were in. We had something there that we could have built upon that we didn't. But let's see. Good night, you on all front. Bermuda love Bermuda's future.
Lou.
Yes, sir.
And your guest there, Mr. Brown, and the other gentleman.
The great Jack Castle, sir.
The big Jack Castle.
A zebra.
he beat us a couple of times.
All right. Give me a couple of minutes, right? I've been listening to you guys, and I just want to say, if we want to really get into preparing our players for the World Cup to be capable of getting somewhere. I don't know if anybody has the information. How far have we actually been? How close? I mean, how far have we been in the World Cup?
Well, the closest.
This is the closest.
This is the closest. This is the closest we've. I thought wasn't Gary's team wasn't the closest.
No, this team here.
This team here. Yeah. This team here has come the closest.
Come the closest.
Yes.
Okay.
Where we are right now is the closest.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now that's
to be
good,
celebrated.
Right?
To be celebrated.
Right. Yeah. Should we celebrate?
Well, yeah. I say you celebrate it. Yeah, it's the closest.
Yeah,
it's a step.
Every little bit helps.
And we're talking about every little bit helps, and we're talking about how do we improve it. So I want to hear from you.
Okay, well,
given what you observe,
the number one thing to take us to improve is money.
Yeah.
We need to, because we said our national squad. Do we have a national squad, or do we have a selection of people that's in the national squad?
Okay.
We're looking at the clubs. We're looking at the clubs who produce these types of players that you guys are talking about all the time, and really what we should be doing is selecting a national squad and let the national squad be the most highest investment into preparing ourselves for the World Cup, because the clubs really can't do it. They don't have the funds to do that to be able to go to play against players that are playing at a professional level every day. They're out there training every day. Our national squad gets selected, them out there for 2 or 3 weeks is almost what we're going to train as a national squad and play up against these people that's playing every day. Football. High clubs getting paid big money.
Right.
Another thing that we need to take into consideration, we need a sports tax. Everybody wants the glory, but, where's the money? You know what I'm saying? I mean, we all want to, Bermuda beat this team, Bermuda beat that team, blah, blah, but nobody put a damn dime in except for what we generally the government would collect and throw out some beans and, and chickens and say, here's a couple of dollars, go to do what you can do if that we hire a nice coach and this supposed to do wonders. But what I'm saying is that we need to invest in a national squad. We need sports tax to spread money around to all our cricket and football, which is our 2 major sports that we have. We need to put money behind it to select a national squad, put them into a training program, preparing them for the next. Right now, we should have the national squad training now together as a team. You're not playing for village, you're not playing for cougars, you're playing for the national squad. And we're going to invest money into you to make you the best team we can through the whole year. You're in an academy of training as the national squad. Let me
take your argument. I want to take that argument. I want to see how Dennis and those guys address that.
I'm going to finish off with this.
Go ahead, real quick.
We select a younger group of players and they're playing from now into the next 5 years together as a team, as a national squad team. You're not playing for village, you're not playing for cougars, you're not playing for, you're playing for the national squad. and this national squad will be the squad in which that all the other teams that's out there, who is going to want to emulate to want to be involved in. We got to let the national squad be the leading team with the most investment that we can throw at them to make them the best team that we can, preparing them for the next 5 years. Where they're training every day. They're going, well, include whatever else they need to be doing, and traveling, going to Argentina, England, Brazil, and having training games with these people. We have to invest some money if you really want to select a player from this and then try to put them together for a national squad. It's not working. It
All right.
never worked.
Let me see how the coaches on board respond to that.
We
Thanks a
need
lot.
money.
Thanks
We
a
need
lot.
money.
Thanks a lot.
Okay,
There's some merit to that there in
I
terms
agree.
of yeah.
I agree to the fact that we need money. Money needs to be poured into where we want to go. If we want to go to the next level, we need to invest. I don't agree with him when he says take players away from the clubs. You have international vendors whereby national teams get together. No national team trains all year round together.
Right.
So you have those international vendors where you get together and national teams train and play.
Right.
What we have to do is, like he said, invest. We have to set goals. So what is our goal between now and 2030? So our goal should be, our target should be to try to qualify for the Gold Cup in the 2 cycles by 2030. So it's 2 cycles between now and 2030. So we need to look to now start. That's our goal, to qualify for the Gold Cup. Also, aim for Nations League A status. Right? That's a goal that we need to look for to increase our international exposure. Also, we need to schedule friendlies. Right, teams like Jamaica and all these guys that are playing against Argentina, Brazil. Who are we playing against in friendly matches? Club teams in Bermuda. That's not going to get us to the next level. So I agree with the caller when he says we need an investment, right, into the national team. A national tax can be, a sports tax can be something that to looked at, right? But I believe that if we put all the brains together, coaches, administrators, fix the infrastructure, fix the facilities, because that's another big issue. You know, BA is closed down because BFA didn't want to play at BA because the field wasn't up to standard. Bermuda Football Association training pitch, that needs to come up to standard. Club fields need to come up to standard. Right.
But how do they come up to standard, recognizing that, again, the recreational level that we are at, these are fields that have multi-purpose.
Yeah.
Right? We don't have football stadiums. I mean, most of our fields convert.
So why not? Tell me why not. In each parish, you have a field that you can convert from grass to 3G. Right? So let's look at Somerset. You could look at Malabar. You could look at Warren Simmons Field.
Right.
You could look at Shelley Bay. These
White Hill. Yeah.
White Hill plays cricket.
Yeah.
But the other ones who don't play cricket, you could convert them into 3G pitches. Right? So they could be used all year round. Everywhere you go in the UK, that's all you see, 3G pitches. And they're playing football every single day. So we have to invest in football.
So investing in football like that, utilizing these fields that, quote unquote, are underutilized.
Way underutilized.
Right, they're underutilized. They would be utilized for the purposes of keeping, because, you know, during football season, PAC fields can be used for football.
And cricket.
And cricket. Somerset Field is going to be used for football.
Rangers.
And all of that.
All of them.
During the season.
Yep.
But these other surplus fields.
Yeah, you could take Warwick Sec and make.
Right? Well, shoots. Opens the opportunity, you're saying, to utilize for the purposes of the extension of the development. All right? Make those fields active for that purpose.
Because I had another idea. Right? So we need to have regional, how could I put it? squads training in regional areas, right? So the West, you have a West regional national academy, you have a Central, and you have an Eastern, right? And then at certain points of the season, you bring all those regions together. You pick the best players out of that region, pick the best players out of the Central, pick the best players of the East, and you bring them together. Because right now, the local player is feeling disenfranchised about playing for Bermuda, because what they see is too many guys, a lot of guys coming from overseas to play. So how do we now motivate the local player to...
What's the young man who's getting his opportunity crossroads?
Donovan Thompson.
Yeah, Donovan.
31 years old. People may say, he's 31 and we're rebuilding.
No, but he has a desire and appetite.
At the same time, you can't...
And Bermuda 31 is like 27. Yeah,
and if you watch...
And he got 27-year-old legs.
Watch this guy play,
Yeah.
his got energy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's a lot of work that we have to do, man.
We definitely have to, and I'm interested to see with the local players that are coming in, right? To see if they step up, right? Because obviously against Curacao, we done something.
Yeah.
We done something. We stepped up for a while, right? And in 90 minutes, did we step up for 70?
And most of this team tomorrow is local based, isn't it?
Is that Curacao?
No, Bermuda's team.
Most of our team is
most
half
of it
the team is local based.
Half is local based.
Yeah.
Which is the most local based players
in a while.
Yeah.
And they just have to take advantage of the opportunity.
All right.
It's not going to be easy. International football is completely different from local football.
Yeah.
So you just have to see. I just want to congratulate the new guys.
Please hold, caller.
Congratulate the new guys. I've been talking about this young man, Logan.
Turn your radio off. Hold down.
The young left back coming in. This is a guy I've been talking about for the last 2 years. Brighton Morrison, another good talent. He plays in the UK. Jace Donovan, talent doesn't, and Donovan's been a proven goal scorer here in Bermuda, but now can he do that
at the next
level?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
here's his opportunity.
We've seen a lot of players play well in Bermuda, but when you get to the next level, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like night and day. So we
appreciate you, caller. Go ahead.
Completely, John. Just the guys will be just
You're breaking up on us, which means there's a bad frequency.
Can you hear me now?
I hear you, but I need to hear you clearly.
Okay, can you hear me now?
I hear you, but it's still a bit of distortion. You might be too close to your mic.
How about now?
This is a little better.
Okay. I will say this. Right now.
Do you have your radio on?
Nothing on right now.
Okay.
I never did.
Okay, we'll tolerate it for a while. Go ahead.
Okay, I'll just move to another location, see if I can get that. How about now?
No, it's really bad in our ear.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah. See, just get your question across and
how about now?
That here's on a speaker. That's
yeah. You're doing a speakerphone?
Yeah, I had it off. I turned it off.
Okay, that's the problem.
I would say this. FC Bascom, right? He has a program right now, Andrew Bascom's program.
Right.
It's one of the. This is my opinion. It's one of the better junior programs in the islands. A lot of programs, and his junior program is doing quite well now.
Right.
And I was just talking to one of his coaches, just asking, the next level will be going into the second division. And he said no. The FA would allow him to go in second division. I said, why not? You know, it's been in a lot of junior programs right now. The under 15 just won, the other night the under 13, the under 12s, and they're doing quite well in competitions. Even Bermuda won a competition.
Right.
And I say he's got a good program going, and so do others, right? I'm saying, well, why do you let him go to the next step and get into the second division? You know what I mean? If it's got the players, because once these players get them a certain age, and they're going to have to go to other clubs.
Right.
You know? So that, I was just saying, it's got a good program. I was just putting that out there, gentlemen.
Right. No, I appreciate it. You're making an argument that he's bringing them along in the junior program, take his most senior team into the next level, meaning
exactly.
You said second division, but the first division league.
Well, come and start in second division or whatever.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah.
Whatever the newest division he could start in and see where he goes from there.
Yeah. All right, appreciate that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I mean, that's an example. I mean, you know, we know FC Bascom has been developmental with his organization, his club.
Excellent program.
Excellent program. What percentage of his players, former players, are in the national team?
Looking at this national team, I don't think any. I don't think any.
But that's a BFA question too.
Yeah, I hear that with the caller.
That's a BFA question because you have to remember that the BFA is built around affiliates.
Yeah.
Right. So every club is an affiliate, and Andrew has an outside entity which is his calling a club, but it's really his.
Well, it's
his business.
It's his business. Yeah, FC Bascom. It's like an academy team, really. Because I know, and you know, it'd be great to have Drew on at some point,
right?
In the greater conversation of
if
this.
If you know the BFA, where does that fit into their affiliation? Like,
right
at the next level,
right?
So that's a BFA question.
And I know also with FC Bascom, there's also the aspiration of the USL League.
Yeah.
Right? So that's taking your crop of players and moving them toward that league as the next level, as opposed to within your own country league. Yeah?
Yeah, now, I've always had, Andrew and I came through together from 12 years old as players.
Mm-hmm.
Both of us got to the national team together at 16. We became the babies after Jack, because before that Jack was the baby at the national team.
Hello.
Drew and I, came through together. I've always had tremendous respect for Drew as a player. He was an unbelievable player. I think he's an unbelievable coach. Looking at his teams, how they play, it's pretty to watch from young age.
Which is clear.
Yeah.
His team,
you can see the
they have an identity. They have a Bascom identity.
And that's what I was talking about.
I've seen them. They have a Bascom identity. I see him. His stamp is there.
See, we don't have an identity because if you watch our under 15s play, under 17s play, under 20s play, under 23s, and the seniors, everybody plays different.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody trains different. Right? So we need to, number one, talk about that identity first. What is it going to look like? What is our warm-up going to look like?
Mm-hmm.
What is this going to look? What are our set pieces going to look like? Because that's a big part of football right now.
Well, you see, I see that certain set pieces are coming back into vogue.
Oh, yeah, they're coming back.
Yeah.
Corners and throw-ins.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we have to, number one, first of all, let's get the brains together and talk about what our Bermuda identity is going to look like. A Bermuda profile, what is that player going to look like? What type of left back do we want? What type of right back do we want? What type of center back do we want? Do we want that center back who is just going to win the ball and pass it off to your midfielders, or you want a ball-playing center back? So we have to ask ourselves all these type of questions. Do we have right now a number 6 who's going to run through that wall for you like Lance Brown used to do years ago? We don't have that right now. Right, we have a couple of guys out there, and one of them I approached in a grocery shop one day, and I asked him this question. I said, "How motivated are you to play for Bermuda?" "Oh, I don't feel like playing, blah, 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 blah." How you going to get to play for Bermuda? I tell you, the number one is to get yourself in the best possible shape that you could get in so the coach could never leave you out. And this young man, I'm not going to call his name, but now I see him running on the road trying to get himself in shape. But at the end of the day, You know what I mean? You have to have the motivation to want to
It's
represent
it's
the
the
country.
motivation, it's the desire.
Yeah.
The earlier caller spoke about investing the money. Yes,
Can't do it without-
you can't do it without
the money.
Not with the development that we're talking about. Much of what we're talking about, how do we begin to move from a recreational level to a higher standard that is, and I wouldn't even just say a semi-pro level, but just a higher standard of excellence or performance that builds that identity. And I'm glad the caller brought up about FC Boscombe, because characteristically, his teams are of a very high standard.
They're always in finals.
They are of a very high standard.
Yep.
Now, we're here talking about it.
What the demand?
Right.
He's demanding.
Yeah.
What he wants.
And I'll say this here. You see the Boscombe identity in FC Boscombe.
Yeah.
Just like, because I have a lot of respect for the Zebra program, right? You see the Zebra identity in their youth players, right? You see the Red Devil. Well, they don't.
Rams. The Rams.
Rams. North Village. Red Devils. The Rams. You see their identity, all right? But certainly with FC Boscombe,
Definitely.
I believe there's no other
That's the example.
club youth. That is the example to me.
He has definitely.
And it is the example
That's the example. Yeah.
that is transferable to what we're talking about,
Yeah.
but a bit more complex, because we're talking about everyone being on the same page and having somewhat a commonality of what we want for Bermuda.
So are we humble enough to do that?
That's the word.
Well, that's
That's
Are
what
we
gets in our
humble
way.
enough?
That's what gets in the way of us developing a championship culture. Because all three of us here can definitely speak to what it means to be a part of a championship culture.
Yes.
We've been a part of it.
Of course.
But when we talk about transferring it to the national level, we've had pockets of it in our era. And I would say in our era, we didn't have enough of the investment in football. But when I look at the opportunities that a national team gets to play today and the stage they get to play on, now
Oh my God.
I say, whoa, man.
Whoa.
I mean,
Oh my gosh.
and for us, it was a
Trickle.
well, we look forward to holiday time because we knew in December, national or international teams were coming to Bermuda that we will play against. We also knew that in all of our clubs there was a balance of guys. I mean, you have balance of guys now who play in England and maybe USL, but mainly in England. But those of us who were in school overseas came back and added another level.
It brought another level.
And brought
to the-
another
to
level
the game.
to the game.
Yeah.
But now, we would want to sit down. No, let's sit down with Andrew Boscombe and others. Humble
Put
ourselves.
the minds together.
Humble
The
ourselves.
minds together. And
Humble
Yeah,
ourselves.
that's it.
Humble ourselves.
Humility is important.
Yeah. If we're serious and honest about wanting to build something for 2030 or 2034.
And also, what helped Bermuda football back in the 80s and the 70s, more so 70s, 80s, was Hotels International
Oh, without a doubt, Vesco.
and Vasco da Gama.
Yeah.
Right, there's overseas players.
Those two teams,
They brought a level. Mercy.
Hotels and Vesco, took football to another
To
level.
Definitely.
Took us all
Yeah,
to another level.
Yeah.
Right? Definitely those two teams.
Yeah.
I mean, before then was Academicals.
Right,
you guys.
right.
But definitely those Hotels and Vesco took football to another level, meaning all the clubs had to raise their game
Yep,
to compete.
for sure.
Right? And yeah, they brought but they brought incentive.
Yep.
Whether people frowned upon it or not. Yeah, those guys who transferred there, no, you got an incentive, whether it was, something monetarily. That model, that was a semi-pro model. That was our semi-pro model.
Was like a semi-pro team.
That was a semi-pro team.
Yeah, for sure.
Zebras, I know zebra players used to get a little something. And Somerset, there are certain Somerset players. We got a little something.
We got a something.
We got something.
For sure.
Right?
Of course, we got something.
And again, because of the syndicate groups.
Yeah, for
Right.
sure.
And I say definitely, Somerset and PAC had strong syndicate groups.
Yeah.
Very strong syndicate
and if people know what I mean by syndicate groups, this is the syndicate group who. Hey, these fellas were heavy gamblers,
Yep.
betting on,
Yep.
and
Paid.
paid.
They paid.
And hey, come to you
on a regular.
Come to you every Sunday. You gotta.
That's right.
Hey,
Yeah.
you gotta win.
You beat
This is what
Somerset.
you get.
You beat Somerset.
You beat Somerset.
Yeah.
This is what you get.
Yeah.
You get a shutout. This is what you get.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I'm saying. There are models. The point that we're making here, people, there are models to elevate what we say we want to another level. It's what's our conviction and purpose to want to do that. Carla, go ahead.
Yeah, I just call back. I like what my brother Dennis was saying about the identity of, our national squad or even any team on the island. But again, if we are really serious about preparing a team to represent us as the national squad, you have to pick the group of players of what you got right now. You can take the best of what you got right now in the ages of 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Time they get through in that 5-year period of training together for the last 5 years, traveling around the world, having makeup games of other teams around the world. Some of the same players that they're going to be training with, and they're the same players that they're probably be meeting in the World Cup games. We have to select a national team now and put them into a national team training program. We cannot wait until PAC, Cougars, North Village want to get a good player and then we'll stick them in and try to get them. We need a team that's playing together and has played together for the next 5 years so we can have that identity of a team. Selecting this team player from this coach, that coach, this, and getting it, and they've all been fighting against one another all through the season, and they're coming with that type of attitude. No, we need a national squad team to be selected, to be trained as a national squad team. Same way Cougars, same way PAC, North Village is playing together all these years together, and blah, 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 and they're playing for PAC for this amount of years, playing for some of this money. That's togetherness. That's a team. We have to build the same thing with our national squad and let the national squad be the team that all players want to model from, because you know what? We should have the money to develop these players into what we are all of them been talking about tonight. We have the money, we have the talent. Clyde Best, number one. Number one, leave Bermuda from playing for Somerset all these years and go up there and shock the world. And then the rest of them that came after him. We have the talent in Bermuda to be able to do that. But we need the money and we need a team that is playing together as a national squad. Who I play for? I play for the national squad. I don't play for Cougars. I don't play for Village. I don't play for PAC. I am a national squad player, just like you've been playing for PAC all these years. I've been selected to play for the national squad. This is where we need to go. Thank you very much.
Cool. Go ahead, Jay.
I think I think we answered the question. I think
we answered that earlier.
I think we answered.
We did,
Right.
but as he said something else that made me think of it in this context, though. We had a very successful under 15 team not too long ago. Yeah?
Yeah.
It was some tournament. I'm trying to think. It was.
They got to the finals of the Caribbean Challenge.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
I want to take what he's talking about, place it in this context, and you answered it, and I get that. But here's these 15-year-olds, and I'm placing his argument in this context. Let's take those 15-year-olds. 15-year-olds, you know, that age between 15, we know between 15 and 18 is our most vulnerable age group. Yeah? Could be,
Yeah, I agree.
right?
Yeah.
And we know at 18 is the drop-off. Yeah? I want to take what he's talking about. We had a successful under 15 team. Imagine those guys, you invest in them. Let's invest in that group. Now, that could be that national group. Growing up, you guys play football, all year round. Summer. We were going places in the off season. And in the model that he is proposing, I see that type of opportunity with that age demographic. So here's under 15 team. Let's take that under 15 team that was very successful for Bermuda, right? And you move them along and invest in them in the next tournament, keeping them together. Yes, you will add new bodies to the team too as you go along. Just investing in them all year round. Yes, they play for their clubs too, but they also play for the national team. And in the summer period, that's what they're doing. You're investing in them, playing. There are enough global tournaments.
But even during school breaks, right? Every school break, the National Academy should have a big intake of their players. Say if school's out for that week, you need to have your players into the National Academy for that week.
Yeah.
Right? So that's how that can be done. You could be traveling during that time of the year, but everything is...
So part of what he's talking about, what he's saying, I see it's feasible, properly organized, but it's with a certain age demographic. Those under 15, 16, 17, that group that's moving together, investing in them. If we see in this cohort with the success that under 15 team had, and we say, let's move them along together, and we'll yearly add one to that demographic, and they'll have the experience. Just as an experiment, let's see. We've never done it, but let's see. Let's do those things that are different and invest in them. So by the time those young guys hit 21, 22, they've already had a lived experience of football, academy, national level, what he's talking about, of always, they knew every summer, this is where we're going. We're in these 2-3 tournaments before they come back for the season locally, back into school or wherever, to the next level.
And what you're talking about
that's feasible to me.
Is international exposure.
Yeah, providing them all international exposure,
which is vital to the development of our players. Not just playing in a tournament this year and then I don't play in another international tournament for another 2 years. We have to be constantly putting our players into international tournaments.
I know Andrew, and probably great to have Andrew on a show. I talked to him in a while.
I'm going back to him. Yeah,
the USL, because I know his aspiration is to have a team at the more senior level at the USL. Right. That's why he's growing them through.
That's coming.
And that's coming. Conceptually, what he has as his aspiration and the discipline and the progressive development, really, in his club level, is the model of what we're talking about. You know,
He's definitely.
that's the model of what we're talking about.
No, he's definitely set the standard
At the USL, you know, taking building it, and they'll have the experience. No, you're going to play in the USL.
He has what
Sponsorship. I
Right.
mean,
he's going to. I mean, whatever we do, it's going to take funds. But let's go back. Let's go back to what we were talking about, right? So right from, because now we're taking it down to youth football, right? And I think Andrew has taken something, right? Taking something even a step further. I'm going back to PAC because that's how I was raised. PAC. All the teams played alike. Guys didn't like it, but all the teams played alike, right? So when you was 16 or 17 breaking into the senior team, it was just like you've been playing all the time. So like the respect I have for what Andrew has done. Andrew has everybody that is in his organization or his club, everybody is on the same page. All his coaches are on the same page. The discipline is there, right? So right from the parents down to the players, to the coaches, to everybody is. So that's what Dennis talked about.
That's an example, Jack.
And I'm going, and look, because I'm middle
Go
school.
ahead.
I'm middle school. I came up under the Randy Hordens, the Peppies, the Roddy Bertels,
Earl Hart,
the Earl Harts, the Rick Richardsons, the list, all those guys, right? All those guys, right? They met, right? They were senior coaches, but those guys were the best of friends.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
They were the best of friends, and every Monday they would meet, right? And they would have
Donald Dane,
Mr.
Happy
Dean.
Deal,
Yeah, these guys,
Gary,
Coach Rupp, right?
Yeah.
These guys will meet, right? They had a coaches association or coaches friendship,
Yeah.
even before coaches associations and all of that.
See what you're
Right?
capturing, Jack. They were of that culture, and bringing it forward to an Andrew with what we see in the context of what we're talking about here, really reflectively and bringing it up. He has a championship culture.
Yeah, yeah,
Right? And distinctively, for everyone out there, a characteristic of a championship culture that FC Boscombe is, they have a strong sense of mission and purpose.
Definitely.
A very strong sense,
Definitely.
and you said it. They all play. Hey, you see the Boscombe vision and identity.
You see it,
Right?
You see
the
it.
mission and purpose.
So for me, right, at
and a very super high standard.
at the BFA, it has to. We now have to. You have to go find those coaches that are going to be on par with what the vision is and how we're going to get to. Because it has to start. It has to start with the coaching, right, and work its way down, right. We don't, as I said earlier, we lost the educational side of it that got so many of us to it. So now we have to look at it from a whole different view now, right? So it's got to be like, why go way across the world to look for something when it's,
Well, we have a model. We have a model.
we have a model
And
over
I
there.
say this here. We're giving credit to FC Boscombe mission and purpose. But credit too. I mean, I say the Zebras have tenets of it in their program. The Villages have tenets of it in their program.
So what has
Right.
to happen? You have to come together.
And
You have to bring it all together.
and how? But it gets back to what Jack is saying. And the
We are
humility-
nowhere in
and the
isolation.
humility.
Right?
Yeah.
Isolation, we're
Yeah.
nowhere. but together we could
Yeah.
galvanize this region.
Yeah.
If we work together.
If we work together.
Be humble, respect each other, put egos aside, and let's do it for the benefit of football in Bermuda. But can we do that? I'm not even gonna answer that.
But yeah,
Well, you're in the coaching. You have a challenging task.
Yeah, because people think football is rocket science. Football is not rocket science. You could go on any website and get anything you want about football. So why can't we bring that together as coaches, human beings?
Well,
adults.
The reason why we don't is
Crabs in a bucket.
well, again, we have some of that corrosive culture.
Yes.
We have a lot of conflict and negativity, right? And we're working from the recreational club level coming up. And what we do see, much of what we say we want, we do have evidence of it. But getting back to your point, Rock, where is our humility? Hey, okay, Drew Bascom, we see in the FC Bascom model is this. What is it we need to do to transfer some of your high standard across to other clubs, youth level?
And
those are the things that we need to get.
on there,
Please hold, caller.
As the president of the Coaches Association, I started a technical directors group, and with this group, it helps the clubs who may not be as organized as certain clubs. So certain clubs may have all the ducks in a row, stuff like that. So we're helping each other. But at the end of the day, it can be better.
Yeah.
Right? Because instead of 8 representatives from different clubs coming, it should be at least 15 to 20.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So we're helping each other to get better as clubs, like the coaching side, the administrative side, or whatever. But humility.
Caller, you're on the radio.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Gentlemen.
Good evening.
Brother Dr. Lou,
Yes, sir.
I'd just like to weigh in a minute if I can.
Please.
You're talking about my first sporting passion
All right.
before I gravitated towards and left it behind for another. I just want to say one thing that's truly missing in Bermuda football. You talked about those greats. It's the school, because in my day, when Lee played West End or Berkeley played Churchill, it was Randy Horton versus Gabby Hart. It was Colin Middleton versus whoever was the coach somewhere else. And you had youngsters being cultivated at the school level at a very high competitive level. I was told, he's older than me, but the great Clyde Best, who had difficulty getting in Somerset side as a youngster, and was spotted by Graham Adams at Churchill. Because Somerset had to displace Paulie Smith and Randy, and you would know better than me all those things.
Richard Simmons.
Because Bermuda had a very strong, and I remember in the 60s, when the Bermuda Junior Football Association had the mini micro person. Why are you Chelsea? Because I played Chelsea in the mini minors the first time I played.
Mini micro league.
The mini micro league.
Yeah.
And the first team I played for in the micro league was Chelsea. It's the first time I played with guys outside of my community.
Right.
Was when I played with Terpster Shields and those boys, and we played with Chelsea. Then, oddly enough, we ended up together at Berkeley.
Yeah.
And I think sport is sport. You have to go back to the basic love of the game. And I think sometimes someone has just said it's not complicated. Sport isn't complicated. You have to love the sport. And where you love the sport is when you play on overplus land on the field. When you go down and play in St. George's and you play in the park down there
and people would protest to put a golf course on there because that's where they had 3 fields, where you had 3 teams. When Lionel Turner came to Bermuda in 1965 and cultivated Cecil Todd and Edgar Smith at Southampton Glebe, he was cultivating boys at 9 and 10 and 11 years old.
Yeah.
That's all. I just want to say that we've got to go to the foundation of sport, and the basic foundation principle of sport is the love of the game.
And building relationships.
And understanding respect.
Yeah.
Our coaches, Mackie Simmons, whether it cricket or football, or Eugene Buck Woods, I'm going deep to White Hill, they taught us respect of the game and of each other first.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And we had some rough and tough guys. Guys come home bloody from school, but they don't play on the same side.
Yeah.
And we picked our own teams. We didn't need. We organized ourselves, and what I don't see, and I'll hang up, is that I remember at 5:30 at White Hill, you would have 15 to 30 people, and I would be one of 5 guys and 3 or 4 in the girl, and you have Cecil Torton guys blasting at you. Someone crossed the ball, you're running up there trying to get a header. I mean, and I'm not that. It wasn't unique to White Hill. I'm sure that was happening. That
was grassroots yard football,
backyard football,
or backyard football. Yeah, and that's where many of us developed our courage of playing against bigger opposition because you're younger, more skillful players. Yeah, but no, you raised a good point, Paul.
I didn't play in that by that time. Golf at me. I remember guys that up in Somerset that you had leagues that were cultivated. I remember Dwayne Perman. My cousin Dwayne said
fullback.
I played for Manchester Street.
Yes, and he is
community league.
He is a right fullback.
Mr. Turner started that community league in Somerset.
Just like you were a super goalkeeper.
I don't believe that.
Oh my boy! Yeah,
I'm gonna get you off the air now.
You just said, Lou, you just paid me the ultimate compliment because I'm gonna tell you something, right, Mr. Turner? I had the honor of being a presenter down there at the All Stars annual game down at St. George's Cricket Club when they honored Mr. Turner.
Yeah.
And as a politician to present a trophy to Mr. Lionel Turner, nobody would know, but maybe you, Lou. And others that would call me Muskie would know how much that meant to me.
Super goalkeeper.
As much as any trophy I ever won in golf. And you know what Mr. Turner said? Mr. Turner said to me, "You should not have been a golfer. You should have been a footballer."
Well, I'll say this here. I will say this here.
Ask Turner of that.
I will say this here. I will say, as an oppositional goalkeeper to you, right? Muskie was a very good goalkeeper.
I need to see videotape.
But I'm glad golf took his lucky. I'm glad golf took your
lucky golf.
Took your love.
I'll say this much, right? I only played for one team, that was Eagles.
It was Eagles,
And I'll tell you this, right? Fred Rayner got me to go to one training session down at PhD, and it didn't feel right because we played. Eagles juniors played PhD. It was the blacks or the whites. It didn't matter which one it was. They were both equally as good, right? And we were nil at halftime.
That's right, the blacks.
Right? Nil at halftime playing against PhD. Well, I think it was 11-0. They had target practice the second half. So they said, bring that ball down PhD. And it didn't feel right going to another field. It feel like I was cheating walking down PhD. It didn't feel right. So I never played for another team.
Muskie, we're glad you stayed with golf.
You're lucky you stayed with golf.
And a pro golfer too. And a pro golfer.
So Horton came St. George's, and I was living in St. George's.
Oh my God.
And he took over the St. George's team, and I went out to one meeting he had. The because Horton was my coach at Berkeley, and I thought maybe I'll play a little football on the side. But I never went on the field. I never got any boots or nothing. That's the closest I came back.
You did a wise thing, Muskie. You did a wise thing.
Would have been nice scoring against you, boy.
Yeah, you did a wise thing.
Bronny,
Would have been nice scoring a hat against you.
Your late brother Richard, if he could come back and whisper in your ear, he'd just say, "Leave it alone, leave it alone." And it's been so great speaking with you guys about my passion as a footballer, because when I was a boy, I only wanted to play for Chelsea. Yep. And I ended up playing on the PGA European Tour, and the office was in Knightsbridge. That only God could take you from never playing golf at 11 to the PGA Tour at 22.
Whoa.
And it was
I was hoping to see you out on the course this weekend.
No, that ship has sailed. But I tell you this much, right? Today I had one of the most joyous days of my life on the course, because I've been very quietly teaching some children down at Dalton Itaka for obvious reasons.
Beautiful.
Got you.
That still produced me. And I feel that Dwayne, myself, and Glenn Dingback, and Darren Woods, Cornell Bean, we all became golfers because they built that course on our doorstep.
Well,
I took the prefect girl, Capri Smith, and Jill Trott, who love golf now. I've been teaching them quietly. They come down Belmont, and they can come down and do golf anytime. My brother Darren has opened the door to them. They can make Belmont their home. So today, Miss Shonda Simmons, the deputy principal, brought them up there, and today they were part of the pro-am. And all those guys.
Before you go, I'll share this with you and everyone. I was talking to Clyde Tango Burgess, right?
Oh.
And who just turned 80.
Oh, Marcy.
Right?
No way.
Yeah, Tango just turned 80.
Okay.
And Tango said to me, he said, Lou, we were driving, and we was past the golf course, and I said, "That's your hangout." And he said, "Nah, not as much as I used to. But I'll say this. If I caught that bug in my teens, I would have never been playing football."
Okay.
He saw himself he had a vision of seeing himself on the pro circuit, because he caught golf later, an appetite for it, and good at it.
Was an amazing golfer.
And good at it, very good at it, yeah. And he said, "Man, if I caught it earlier in my youth, I would have been somewhere else." Yeah. Rich, I appreciate you sharing it, Musk.
All right, man.
All right.
Hey, I love it, man.
Yes. All right, my brother.
Blessings to all you guys.
All right, my brother.
Cool.
But that captures, some of the things that we've been talking about here tonight in terms of we got to get them young.
Yeah.
We have to grow it young. And if anything coming out of tonight in terms of developing a championship culture, everybody, globally, everyone's talking 2030 for a certain reason. 2030 is supposed to be the eradication of poverty. Not going to happen. Right? Too much greed. Not going to happen. Is it possible to eradicate poverty? Oh, yeah. But it's not going to happen in 2030. 2030, sustainability. You hear all these things. Equality. 2030. 2030, everyone talks about the future and what we must be doing for our youth now, for what comes later. And I'm saying, if we're going to develop a championship culture, if anything, listening tonight, just having the conversation that we're having, we have examples of it.
Yeah, we do.
And the humility that you're talking about, Rock, starts with us. We had examples of coaches of ours who were our models, and they were super competitive, but collaborative, work together. Where right now there's a divisiveness in terms of bringing it all together. We want the same thing, but if we want a better Bermuda national team performance and capturing that identity that you're talking about, Rock, it warrants, all of us who have this appetite, this interest, this desire for an improved Bermuda. No, let's come together and have that conversation. Under one umbrella. Yeah.
It's got to come under one umbrella.
And we have models to draw upon, and the FC Boscombe model is a championship model. That is people,
example, yeah.
the championship cultural example of football in Bermuda right now. And we would want to get everyone on the table, around the table. To do it for Bermuda. If we're serious.
I actually put our pathway in 3 phases. Phase 1, that's our foundation phase. Between 2025 and 2027. So the key milestones we're looking at is to ensure that we have the best coaches coaching the best players.
All right.
Also, facility upgrades.
Okay.
That's in the first foundation.
That's phase 1.
The diaspora database. How many players in England qualify, or in the U.S. or wherever?
That's
qualify.
phase 2?
That's still phase 1.
Oh, okay.
And the goal is to build infrastructure and the coaching database.
Okay.
Phase 2, consolidation. Right? So 2027 to 2030. Key milestones. Competitive Nations League and Gold Cup campaigns. Right? So our goal for that is to establish Bermuda among the top 10 CONCACAF nations. Right now, I believe, 20, whatever, in the 20s. So phase 3, qualification push. So 2030 to 2034. Cohesive generation of local and diaspora players. And the goal is to compete for 2030 and 2034 World Cup cycle qualification. So it's 3 phases. The foundation, the consolidation, and the qualification.
Well, that's a place to begin to start this conversation. Because
so who starts that conversation?
If we're going to have a championship culture, then with what you just spoke to again, is having that strong sense of a mission and purpose. And we've identified the programs that do have it. How do we begin to transfer to the grander scheme of what we want for Bermuda? So as we close out tomorrow night, any predictions?
To me, at this stage, what I like to see is progress. Always, I've been a winner all my life, so I wouldn't say Bermuda's going to go out there and lose. My prediction, Bermuda 2, Curacao 1.
2-1?
Bermuda 2, Curacao 1.
All right.
Donovan Thompson's going to score tomorrow night.
Yeah. What you got, Jack?
I want to see a better game, but I think we can upset because it's in us to upset. And I just want to see a little bit more heart. I want to improve on the last game that we played. Obviously, the last game we played was...
We gave it away.
Right. So,
I think we gave that game away.
So let's be a little bit more compact. Let's play to our strengths. Compact, getting the ball forward. Like we right in the beginning, we talked about pace. We had Jamaica backtracking, Trinidad backtracking with pace. We just straight
pace. But you got to score.
You got to put your chances away.
You got to be
disciplined and put your chances away. Yeah. We had chances. We just don't put our chances away. So
Bermuda showed me that they can beat them.
We can compete.
They can compete, and I think they can beat.
We can compete.
Curacao. However,
Curacao have something to play for.
They have something to play for.
They're trying.
Bermuda has something to play for too. I would hope to say their pride.
Yeah, for sure.
Their pride.
For sure.
But on the evidence of what I saw the last game, and knowing what Curacao stand to gain, I'm looking for Bermuda to disrupt it, but I see a draw of some kind. It'll be a draw with goals in it. Not a lot of goals, but I can see 2-2.
I'll take a draw.
I can see a draw. I can see Bermuda drawing with them. I'm going to give Bermuda the benefit of the doubt to draw. I look at what defending has been like and what goal scoring has been like, and on both ends of the field is not promising. So I'm saying for this game, give it Ox and our team. No, put it all on the line. You got nothing to lose. You got everything to gain.
Stick to the task.
Stick to it. Yeah, got everything to gain. Let's build upon something. And this is a team that Bermuda can beat.
Yeah, good luck.
And you've beaten before. So good luck to the team. Go out on a limb. Be fearless.
Yeah.
Be fearless. So on that night, we've been talking some football, Bermuda people, and if anything tonight, we have the attributes to develop championship culture. We have evidence in some of our programs. There are aspirations, but for this to occur, some will say it needs money, but what it really needs is, like you said, Rock, it needs us coming together, building the relationships, and some humility. And we do that. 2030, 2034, those young boys who are 15, 16, 17, come 2030, 20, 21, 22, yeah, 28, come 2034, why not? Let us have those type of possibilities. And the theme, Bermuda love, but hey, let's show some Bermuda heart and fight
Kick
to win.
Somebody tomorrow night.
Yes, play to win, play to win.
Kick somebody.
Show the love, people. See you at the stadium tomorrow night.